Portland's here on Powell is the oldest corporate one still in existence. In that much, other ones have been torn apart, and that's only just part of it left. But this is the one that's really intact. And I was surprised myself that was the case.
Wow.
Tell us what you need people to do and how quickly you need them to do it.
From what I understand, I drove by there just a few hours ago, and they fenced off the area. They removed parts of the arches, and they've dug up some of the grass around. So most of the building's still there. However, I spoke to a lady works in the McDonald's restaurant that's still operating there, and she said they're going to be probably demolishing it on Friday, which is, I don't know what the day would be. Whatever Friday's date is. Excuse me. So, I think we need to let the property owner know and the company know within the next 24 hours, 48 hours at the most, that hold off. Just hold off for a little bit so that people can discuss it a little bit more and see if we can figure out a way of keeping it. The more people express interest, the more likely I think they'll in Downey. In '94, earthquake damaged the oldest McDonald's. McDonald's decided to shut it down because they didn't want to repair it. This mayor and the community rallied and went ahead and got them to rebuild it. And now they've added a museum and they've added a drive-thru. So there's an example when McDonald's went ahead and did change course because the people showed that they care. So I think that can happen here as well.
Tell us a little bit about what your fascination is with the McDonald's, the old McDonald's. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to get involved in saving it and what you're doing.
Okay, I'm a lifetime Portlander. And I attended schools here in Southeast Portland, Jim Bridger, and then Dinsmead, and then John Marshall High School. So I'm familiar with going by there and seeing the building. And I've also been involved in discussions of historic buildings, the signs, the Baden, Oregon sign, things like that, Memorial Coliseum preservation, things like that. So it's right up my alley. There was a Burgerville in downtown Vancouver of the same year built as this McDonald's, and that was torn down a few years ago. So when I saw that they were planning to do that here, I'm like, gosh, let's not lose this building. So that's why I jumped into action, did the research, tried to put together a case in terms of preservation, and have been contacting people regarding that.
Have you been in touch with corporate McDonald's?
Yes, basically, I did locate on the web some people dealing with real estate and architecture, and then I submitted the PDF of my paper to those people. I don't know if they actually received it, of course. I assume somebody at the other end is getting this. And then a week and a half ago, I actually stopped by the Kirkland regional headquarters for McDonald's. And it's kind of a funny story because I show up and I look in the doors and it's all dark and I'm going, hey, nobody here. It's right 10 minutes before 5 o'clock. And I thought I missed everybody. So I pushed the little button, nobody there, and I wandered down the hall and looked around, came back and pushed the button a few more times, and then the gentleman showed up at the hall. I asked him, "Did you work at McDonald's?" He said, "Yes." And it turned out it was one of the people involved in regional manager of construction. So I got to talk to him for 10 minutes, explain my paper, and try to address his concerns and so forth. So they are aware of the paper. They got a paper copy, a PDF version, and also a little model of the building itself.
You think you got anywhere with them? Or to wait and see?
I think I opened his mind to things because there are things I brought up he didn't know about. He didn't know about the San Jose building, which is still in operation. And so that's from '64, so it's 2 years newer. So. And so, yeah, I was trying to share what I could in a constructive manner. Hey, this is like good for your company. Keep something like this. It'd be like a McDonald's heritage site, if you will, because a lot of their buildings are gone. They did build a replica of the first Ray Kroc McDonald's in the Plain outside Chicago. That one they tore down in '84 and rebuilt it as a museum, and so people have been able to go there and look at it. But recently they've had floods there, and they've decided to tear that down, so that even doesn't exist. So that makes this location even rarer.
How long has it been since the historic McDonald's here has been used as a restaurant?
81 is when it closed.
Oh, really?
That's when the new one with the mansard roof opened up. At that time, Multnomah County, this was outside of the city at the time, requested that it be preserved. They wanted to, save it. And at that time, McDonald's said, "Oh no, don't worry about it. We're keeping it. We're gonna have a party room for kids. There's gonna be a little playland with all the little figure, Ronald McDonald and Mayor McCheese and all that kind of stuff. And so it's gonna be the biggest McDonald land, playland in the country or something like that, And so then, okay, fine. City annexes this part of that area, and then the city of Portland comes to them in '89 requesting that they preserve it. And then there's that big back and forth between the company and the city about trying to preserve it. And of course, McDonald's didn't want to do that because they want to have flexibility, and they say it's not that important of a building, and there's so many of those buildings around and so forth. And city says, okay, fine, we will look at other properties to preserve, but just hold on to this one. And then when you feel like it, come forward and apply, and we'll go through all the paperwork and, preserve it. Of course, they never did.
They never did the paperwork?
They never came back, and nobody at the city ever brought it up, apparently. And so then when they applied for a demolition permit, they went ahead and approved it because there's no reason not to, because it's not a historic building. Even though it should have been. That's what the city was saying, is rank 1. It's like top priority.
So you went to the city, though, with this?
I went to the Landmarks Commission. I submitted the paper. They looked it over. They called me in for testimony. I went in there, talked to, answered the questions, and that's why they formulated a letter and submitted to the property owner, to the McDonald's Corporation, saying, hey, we found this research. We'd like this preserved. They basically tried to open that dialogue again, which had ended in '89.
Despite the agreement that if they wanted to get rid of it, was it the county commission or was it the city that was going to step in?
They would come, the McDonald's would come, and the property would come to the city and then go ahead and do the formal paperwork kind of thing. It was a informal kind of agreement that one side thought they had, that the other side maybe thought wasn't there.
Or
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Conveniently.
And that's why it was important to share that research with everyone. Say, hey, look, they were talking about this back then. We just all forgot about it, didn't realize it.
How many are left of the old style? Do we know?
3.
3.
Apparently 3.
Wow.
And this is the oldest?
The oldest one is in Downey. I think it was 1953. I have to look, something like that. It was the first McDonald's brothers started in San Bernardino with their original store. Then they franchised out locations. The first one with the Golden Arches was in Phoenix, which has been torn down. Then the second one was in Downey. So
Downey is in...
It's Downey, California. It's just outside of LA. It's like 15 minutes from downtown LA. So that one is the oldest one, but it's not a corporate McDonald's one. It's a McDonald's Brothers one. You see what I'm saying? Because they called the one outside of Chicago as McDonald's number 1, which, you can kind of debate how you want to do that, but
So quickly, tell me about your paper.
So I have done research papers in the past dealing with various things like the Made in Oregon sign, Burnside redevelopment. And a few years ago, I did a viewpoint paper dealing with the east end of the Burnside steel bridge. So it's basically a way of taking on an urban design planning issue and then discussing it and then trying to come up with a solution at the end. I always try to start off with the problem and then do the history work and understand it as well as possible and then come up with something.
Excuse me. So, could you just tell the camera? I want exactly what you want them to do, just briefly, like as a list.
Okay, so I will be forwarding to the people in the community organizations that I've been in touch with just recently the email contacts of the people at McDonald's I've been sending things to, and that the Landmarks Commission sent things to, plus the property owner. The property owner, I could not locate an email address, so that's a physical address we need to drop things off, or probably the quickest way is dropping things off, or else calling them, contacting them. Again, this is about being upbeat, positive, and trying to tell them we really would like to keep this, and we really would want it to be a part of the community, and that it's an asset, and that we can understand people wanting to improve their businesses and be efficient with their land and so forth. But there are times like this when it would be good just to mix it up and take a little bit more effort, because it's such a special building.